Hello, it's Delusion Dispeller, and believe it or not, it is 11:31 p.m. at night, and I can't sleep anymore, so I thought I'd make a video. I'm also looking at myself in this camera, and it amazes me how much I look like my dad. The older I get, the more I look like him. Kind of freaky. Well, I'm in counseling with my fiance right now. Not right now, but in general. And we're learning about anger lately and how it all works in the brain. And I thought I'd share about that because there might be somebody else out there that tends to react really impulsively when they get angry. And I thought this might be helpful to learn about this. This is from cognitive therapy. Very useful information to know. First of all, our counselor is really good and very careful at explaining things to an extent that it really makes sense, and to the point where I wanted to share it too. My hair sticking up. It's like really late at night, like I said, so I was kind of sleeping, and then my fiance had some thoughts on his mind to share, so he woke me up, and now I can't get back to sleep, so I'm making this video. Okay, first of all, what the counselor said was, before you go to react to anything, put it through a God filter. In other words, it's kind of like a what would Jesus do type of thing. Say somebody, I don't know, stole your parking space. What would your reaction normally be? Probably to get angry and then get, to the point where you want to either kick their tires or yell at them or whatever, if you're an impulsive type of person. Putting it through a God filter, you would say, well, would God want me to kick his tires? Would God want me to get in his face and start a fight? And 9 times out of 10, things won't pass through the God filter very well. You'll decide that it's probably not the best thing to do. So I thought that was really useful. And then God will probably, if you keep asking him, well, what should I do instead? He'll give you some alternatives that are a lot more balanced and healthier than that. Next thing he taught us was there's different levels of feelings. And I guess I knew this, but I didn't really think of it in this context. Like, say there's a feeling of anger. There's not just anger. There's like bitterness, then there's anger, then there's being furious, then there's being enraged, then there's being livid, and it can just go from down here right on up the chart. Same thing with being happy. You could be pleased, you could be thrilled, you could be elated, you could be overjoyed, and it can go from down here on up again. Sadness goes from sadness to depression to misery to suicidal, that kind of stuff. Levels. So, when you're feeling a certain emotion, ask yourself, okay, what am I feeling? Say you're feeling anger. On a scale of 1 to 10, how angry are you? So it helps you classify it. If you're at a 10, that means you literally want to murder somebody. Most people are not at a 10 or they're behind bars, most of the time. I mean, sometimes you get really angry to the point where, if somebody killed your kid, you'd be at a 10, and that would be legitimate. The point is your reactions and your levels of reactions and feelings, not reactions, but feelings, have to be at a normal level unless there's a reasonable cause why they would be higher than that. Okay. The next thing he taught us was basically that A does not cause B. What he said was, okay, do you think, or first of all, where do you think your emotions come from? Where does your anger come from? Well, okay, you're driving down the street, somebody cuts you off. You're angry. Why are you angry? You might say, because that person cut me off. You're not actually angry because of that. Okay? Somebody brings you flowers. You're happy. Why are you happy? Oh, because that person gave me flowers. Wrong again. Beep, wrong answer. You're not happy because the person gave you flowers. You're not happy because you got an A on your test. You're not happy because you won the lottery. You're not angry because somebody cut you off, somebody swore at you, somebody threatened you. None of those things cause your emotions. And this is so important because it's like a key to changing your reactions to things, starting with how you think about those things, how you feel, and then how it causes you to act. Okay, so you find out what your feeling is. You label it from a 1 to a 10. Now, you realize A does not cause B. Now let me prove this to you. Okay, you are a wife or a husband, but let's go with the wife for now. Okay, you're a wife. Your husband brings you home roses. How are you going to react to that? You might say, well, I'd be thrilled, but guess what? Maybe you wouldn't be thrilled. What if you're allergic to roses? Then you'd be like, well, he knows I'm allergic to roses. Why would he bring me those? What if you're suspicious? Well, what's he up to? Why is he bringing me flowers? What did he do now? See what I mean? So his action, giving you the roses, did not cause you to feel. Your thought about what he did caused you to feel. Same thing with anger. Somebody cuts you off. Did that make you angry? No. You chose to process it in your thinking process, in your limbic system, which is your brain, part of your brain. And you said, oh, that dirty, rotten fink. Why is he cutting me off? What's his problem? Man, I'm going to get even with him. I'll show him. That's all your thoughts. That's not his action causing you to be angry. That's your thoughts causing you to be angry and react. Okay. So that's really useful information. Okay. So nobody can make you feel anything unless they do brain surgery on your brain or somehow drug you or poison you in some way to change your brain chemistry. They just can't. It's impossible. So we talked about type of feeling, intensity of feeling. You have to realize that thinking has certain aspects to it. First of all, your thinking is learned. It's automatic. It can be impulsive at times. And it's subconscious largely. So you can think of things without realizing you're thinking of them, such as riding a bike, using a computer. You don't get on your bike and say, okay, let's see now. I have to sit on the seat and now bend my leg and then touch my foot to the pedal and push and go around and around. You don't think that every time you get on a bike. You're thinking subconscious. You get on the bike and you ride it. Same thing with driving a car. Same thing with a lot of things. Your thinking is subconscious, which is why it's so hard sometimes not to react or overreact impulsively, because your thinking can go very, very quickly in one direction that you're used to thinking without you realizing it. So what you need to learn is a new constructive way to think, and it's based on validity. Is this valid? Is this realistic? Is it rational for me to be thinking this way? My feeling of anger, is it rational to be at a 10 on this rather than a 4 or a 5 or maybe a 1 or a 2? So it's going to change the way that you view things and perceive things and then react to them. The way the counselor said was 10 equals stupid. If you're at 10, whether it's 10 happy, like elated, overjoyed, or 10 so angry that you want to kill somebody, or 10 so miserable that you want to kill yourself, 10 is never good. 10 is stupid. It's a stupid level. You lose your mind at a number 10. So you don't really want to get there too often, or stay there if you do get there. So thinking involves perception, what you think about something, how you see it. Your interpretations, how you put meaning on your perceptions. Your cognitions, which is what you say to yourself, your internal voice. Your attributions, your own explanation of why something happened. What you tell yourself about why something happens. So it's the why. Your attributions are your why. And that is what causes you to react a certain way. What you told yourself. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me think a minute here. Okay, for instance, I was narcissistically abused by somebody, and while I was still at their house, I was telling them, you know what? Yes, all this terrible stuff happened. Yes, you felt uncomfortable with me being here. Yes, you ignored me for 6 weeks. But I still love you, and I want to look at the happy side of things. I think there's a lot of good things that happen. This person did not want to see any good in it. She just wanted to insist, what's good about it? I was so mean to you. I did this and that and whatever. Because, you know, the narcissistic injury had occurred. She got angry. She lashed out. She punished me. Whatever. And then it started bothering her. Because she had a measure of guilt in her. Well, and it might have bothered her because it tarnished her image to think that she could be so cruel, and she realized that that was who she really was deep down inside, at least towards me. So my perception of it was, well, yeah, a lot of cruddy things happened. You treated me mean, but I'm perceiving it as a learning experience. I'm going to take what I learned here and apply it to the rest of my life. Okay, my interpretation was the meaning that I placed on my perceptions. Since I decided it was a learning experience, my interpretation was it wasn't all bad. I'm going to take the good things and I'm going to hold to them. And the bad things I'm going to eventually teach other people about, which is what I do with my videos. Cognitions, my internal voice. My internal voice told me this is how I'm choosing to see it. This bad stuff happened, yes, but I can overcome this and I'll be okay. So that was my internal voice at the time. My attribution was the explanation I gave myself for why it happened. I believed it happened because I was sent into that situation to confront the truth, to address the truth, and to point out things in this family that nobody else dared to. And that is exactly what I did. I had no trouble telling them, you know, you can't ignore your own child when she's crying. You need to comfort her. Something that this person, it was foreign to them, apparently, because they were taught that children should be seen and not heard, and if they cry, you don't comfort them until they're done crying, and then you don't really comfort them, you just listen to them tell you what happened. So it was kind of, you know, my way, or God's way, of sending kind of a messenger there to confront the situation and to address the things that everybody's too afraid of this person to really bring up. So that was my why it happened. So my reaction was to not lash out at this person, to not fight back, but to ask her to explain, you know, what just happened here. Now, when I got back home, I did not handle things very well. I opened a chat room and publicly basically smeared this lady, her ministry, her family, and everybody involved, because at that point impulse kicked in. However, while I was at her house, I was calm, cool, as collected as could be, because I was telling my things the right thing, or telling my mind the right thing. When I got home, I had more time to think about it. I allowed myself to feel very angry, very hurt, very betrayed, very disillusioned, and then very revengeful, and just wanted to hurt this person. And that went on for a little bit of time until I got confronted by somebody and asked to close down my room. Then I opened up against this person, which I did. And over time, I went through counseling. I went through a lot of prayer and was able to let go of things and forgive. Forgive does not mean I forgot. Doesn't mean you have to forget. Nor is this person even in my life, or especially in any close circle of friends. This was a toxic person to me. I was apparently toxic to her in some way, she felt, so it's best that we aren't together and didn't stay together. However, that just shows how your thoughts can take you from one level to another level, depending on the situation and the timing. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm not really sure if I can answer things in depth yet, because I'm still learning more about cognitive therapy and cognitive ways of helping people. But as I learn through my own counseling center, I will be happy to share with you. So thanks for listening. I hope this video can help somebody. I thought it was very useful to me to learn this information, so I wanted to share it with all of you. Again, thanks for watching Delusion Dispeller. Please, if you're in an unsafe situation, tell a safe person, get out if it's safe. If you need any help that I can help you with, or have questions, comments, whatever, just give me a place to reach you at, your email address, etc. And I'll be happy to contact you and answer any questions I can. Thank you and have a great night, day, whatever it happens to be where you are.